morning. So today we're going to do our first lesson on pictograms. Okay, so we're going to start with the in focus task. As you can see, there is a group of stars here and a group of stars here, and they're both being presented in entirely different ways. All I want you to think about is which is easiest to count and why. Take a moment. Right, I'm sure we would agree that actually D is the easier to count because you can see they're all presented in a row, so it makes it really easy to see, whereas on here they're a bit more randomly placed and it makes it trickier. We use this principle when we're drawing a pictogram. So here is a pictograph or a pictogram. It shows a number of stars each group has. And she's also saying here, a picture is called a pictogram, and I will refer to either one throughout. The title tells us what the picture graph shows. So this is Class 1H's reward chart. Group A, I'll give you a moment to count how many stars there are there. So Group A has 4, 8, 8 stars. Group B, didn't take very long to count those one, has 3 stars. Group C also has 8 stars. And Group D, you can see instantly with Group D that this one has the most stars, which is why a pictogram is so useful. This one has 4, 5, 9 stars. So what have you found out? Well, presented in a pictogram, you can really clearly see which group had the least or the fewest and which group had the most. So you can work those ones out almost straight away. Just want us to dig a little bit deeper on this, okay, because you can compare those groups and look at the values and see who has the most and by how many more or how many less they have. So Group A have more stars than Group B. Let's take a look at Group A. Group A, we can see, has 8 stars. Group B has 3. Just think for a moment, what calculation would you need to do to work out the answer to that? I would do 8 minus 3, or 8 take away 3, equals 5. So Group A, you can clearly see, has 5 stars more than Group B. You can almost imagine that as a bar model. You can see there quite clearly how many more. This is the same as this. Group C have something fewer stars than Group D. So again, I would find column D and C and compare them. You can very clearly see numerically, think what you could do. So that would be 9 minus 8, 9 take away 8, 9 subtract 8, which is 1. But also visually, which is why this is so nice, you can very clearly see that Group 1 has one more star, so Group C must have one fewer, one less. Group something have as many stars as Group D, and instantly you can see that 2 groups have the same value. Give you a moment to think which those are. Again, you can clearly see both in the pictures and in the numerical values that Groups A and Group C have the same number of stars. Normally, under normal conditions, I would do this with you as a class and ask you what your favourite colour is. However, I've had to just compile this myself. So, here is an imaginary class and we've asked them what their favourite colour is. Straight away, you can see which the most popular option is and you can see which the least popular option is. So, the number of children that like the colour something is the greatest. Take a moment to think, are we going to be putting a number or a word to answer that question into the blank? That's right, we're going to be putting the name of the colour, we're going to be putting a word in there. So the number of children that like the pink is the greatest. You can very clearly see that more children chose pink than chose any other shade. The number of children that like the colour is the smallest. Again, I'll give you a moment to think. Hopefully you saw that very quickly. Purple only has 4. So purple is the smallest number of children. And then I'll give you a moment to think through these. How many like the colour orange? How many like the colour green? How many like the colour purple? And how many like the colour pink? Pause if you need to. So you can clearly see 2, 4, 5, 5 like orange, green, 2, 4, 6, 7, 7 like green, colour purple, 2, 4, the least popular one. And then the most, oh, I put that in the wrong box, excuse me. 4 like the colour purple, and 2, 4, 6, 8 like the colour pink. Now it's time for you to work in your workbook, working through the questions, the answer, which are pretty straightforward to be honest today, and the answers will be posted later. Thank you.